Milwaukee, Wisconsin, a seemingly ordinary city forever marked by an extraordinary tragedy. On November 21, 2022, the unthinkable happened. A 10-year-old boy, driven by an inexplicable rage, took the life of his own mother. The weapon? A loaded handgun, readily accessible in their home. This horrific event sent shockwaves through the community and beyond. How could a child so young commit such a heinous act? What drove him to this point of no return? This wasn't just another news story. This was a chilling reminder that the line between childhood innocence and unimaginable darkness can be terrifyingly thin. It forced us to confront a disturbing question. What happens when a child becomes capable of murder? This is the story of that tragic day, the events that led to it, and the profound questions it raises about family, responsibility, and the very nature of childhood itself. The day began like any other, but beneath the surface, a storm was brewing. The boy, fixated on a virtual reality headset, had been promised the coveted device by his mother. His desire for the headset was all-consuming, a symbol of the latest technology and a gateway to immersive gaming experiences. However, his mother, concerned about the potential impact on his young mind, decided against the purchase. Her decision, made with the best intentions, ignited a firestorm within her son. His pleas for the headset were met with a firm but loving refusal. The boy's frustration escalated into a blinding rage. Unable to process his emotions, he retreated to his room, his anger festering like an open wound. In that moment of unchecked fury, he made a choice, a decision so horrific, so utterly incomprehensible, that it defies all logic and understanding. He reached for the loaded gun, a constant and chilling presence in their home. The deafening blast of the gunshot shattered the afternoon calm. The boy's mother, struck down in her own home, lay lifeless. The reality of what he had done sunk in, replaced by a chilling sense of detachment. The boy, now a murderer at the tender age of 10, reacted not with remorse, but with a cold, calculating demeanor. He hid the gun, a testament to his growing awareness of the gravity of his actions. When questioned by authorities, he wove a tapestry of lies, claiming an intruder had broken in and taken his mother's life. His composure was uncanny, his words carefully crafted to deflect suspicion. He maintained this facade for days, a chilling testament to his ability to compartmentalize, to separate himself from the horror he had unleashed. However, the weight of his actions proved too heavy to bear. His fabricated story crumbled under the weight of its own inconsistencies. As investigators delved into the boy's background, a disturbing pattern emerged. There had been warning signs, subtle yet significant indicators of a troubled young mind. Teachers had reported outbursts of anger, instances of aggression, and a concerning fascination with violence. His online activity painted an even more alarming picture. He spent hours immersed in violent video games, his young mind absorbing the graphic content with terrifying ease. Family members recalled a disturbing lack of empathy, a chilling indifference to the suffering of others. The boy had harmed pets and displayed cruelty towards younger children. These incidents, often dismissed as childish misbehavior, now stood out as ominous harbingers of the tragedy to come. Looking back, it became tragically clear that the boy's actions were not isolated incidents, but rather pieces of a puzzle that, when assembled, revealed a deeply troubled child crying out for help. The case sent shockwaves through the legal system, sparking a fierce debate about the nature of justice when it comes to children. Could a 10-year-old truly comprehend the gravity of his actions? Was he capable of forming the intent required for murder? The prosecution argued that the boy's calculated actions after the crime, his attempts to conceal his involvement, demonstrated a level of premeditation that warranted being tried as an adult. The defense countered that his young age, coupled with potential mental health issues, made it impossible for him to fully grasp the consequences of his actions. The case became a flashpoint for a larger societal debate. How do we balance the need for accountability with the understanding that children, even those who commit heinous acts, are still developing, still capable of rehabilitation? Section 6. Unraveling the why, delving into the mind of a child capable of murder. As the legal battle raged on, a team of psychologists and psychiatrists embarked on a journey to unravel the complexities of the boy's mind. Their goal, to determine what combination of factors could lead a child to commit such a horrific act. Was it a case of severe mental illness? Was he a product of his environment, a victim of neglect or abuse? Or was it a perfect storm of factors, a toxic cocktail of genetics, upbringing, and exposure to violence that culminated in this unimaginable tragedy? The experts explored every facet of his life, his family history, his social interactions, his exposure to media, and his access to firearms. They sought to understand the interplay of nature and nurture, the complex interplay of genetics and environment that shapes a child's development. Their findings, while inconclusive, offered a glimpse into the dark recesses of a troubled young mind. Section 7. A community in shock, the ripple effects of a child's heinous act. The tragedy sent shockwaves through Milwaukee and beyond, leaving a community grappling with grief, anger, and a profound sense of disbelief. How could this happen here, in their own backyard? The boys' actions forced them to confront their own vulnerabilities, their own deeply held beliefs about childhood innocence and the sanctity of family. Vigils were held, tears were shed, and questions lingered in the air like smoke from a dying fire. The community grappled with the knowledge that the monster they feared was not some shadowy figure lurking in the darkness, but a child living among them, a child they had seen playing in the park, a child who had sat beside their own children in school. The tragedy served as a stark reminder that evil can take root anywhere, that even in the most seemingly idyllic of settings, darkness can lurk just beneath the surface. Section 8. A call for action, addressing the root causes of juvenile crime. In the aftermath of the tragedy, a chorus of voices rose, demanding action, demanding answers. Politicians, community leaders, and mental health experts alike grappled with the question of how to prevent such a horrific event from ever happening again. Some called for stricter gun control measures, arguing that easy access to firearms played a critical role in the tragedy. Others emphasized the need for early intervention programs, for identifying and addressing mental health issues in children before they escalate into violence. Still, others pointed to the breakdown of the family unit, the erosion of parental guidance and support as contributing factors to juvenile crime. It was a complex issue with no easy solutions, a problem that demanded a multifaceted approach, one that addressed the root causes of violence, rather than simply reacting to its devastating consequences. The Milwaukee tragedy became a rallying cry for change, a catalyst for a long overdue conversation about the safety of children, both from others and from themselves. Section 9. Preventing future tragedies, the importance of mental health awareness and parental responsibility. The tragic case of the 10-year-old boy who murdered his mother over a VR headset stands as a chilling reminder of the importance of mental health awareness and parental responsibility. It highlights the critical need for open communication within families, for creating a safe space for children to express their emotions, and for parents to recognize and address signs of trouble. It underscores the importance of responsible gun ownership, of keeping firearms out of the hands of children, and of seeking help when a child exhibits violent tendencies. This tragedy is a call to action for all of us to be more vigilant, more aware, and more proactive in protecting our children. It is a reminder that mental health matters, that early intervention can save lives, and that creating a safe and nurturing environment for our children is not just a parental responsibility, but a societal imperative. We must learn from this tragedy, not by shying away from its uncomfortable truths, but by confronting them head-on. Only then can we hope to prevent such senseless acts of violence from shattering more lives and tearing apart more families.